Hope you're having a great week. Overworked and Underplayed is a not safe for work Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast about a group of incredible young professionals who find themselves transported to a strangely familiar place full of fantasy and magic. See attached for episode description and content warnings. Talk soon, and thanks for listening.
Hey, Richard. Hey, Bentley. Man, that pizza party last night was great. What do you think?
I actually didn't get to eat any pizza.
Oh,
I was
man.
so mad at Fizzlebang.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
You weren't missing much. It was like cafeteria pizza.
All right, well, I'm glad I ate at the Crow's Nest then.
When we get back home, I'll make you some of my pizza. Don't worry.
All right, I'm sure it'll be good. It can't be as bad as what Bentley's making this pizza sound like.
It wasn't good. It almost makes going to this lawyer thing more appealing.
Yeah, I really hope we can get on back on track to find this crystal of RJ.
Yeah, and hopefully once we get that back, we can just do the next two in one go instead of having to do this whole thing one at a time.
As long as the three of us, who are the core members of the team, agree that the phone is the lowest priority on the list.
I think we can agree
Yeah,
that
I
the
think
phone is
so.
the lowest priority on the list.
Yeah.
We all know who's really in charge of this whole thing.
Bentley?
No.
Oh.
Us three together.
Oh, yeah.
Greetings, my paid and unpaid interns. I am Alex Capps, your DM or district manager, and this is Overworked and Underplayed, a D&D podcast for young professionals by young professionals. Today's icebreaker: who is your least favorite NPC?
What up? It's your boy Marcel Hardy playing Richard Cox, a human consultant turned halfling bard who wholly believes it's better to be lucky than good, but it's best to be both. And I've said it once, I'll say it a million times, Richard's least favorite NPC is Matt Damon, but now Fizzlebang is a close second.
Ooh, why Fizzlebang?
Because he played that phony trick with us and didn't tell us all
That's true.
the stuff going on.
So, I'm Annalon, and I play Taylor Jacobs, a centaur barbarian with a heart of gold, who is apparently Katie's dad's favorite character. Every single family member is like, I like this other character.
Not you, my relative.
This
who's
is-
on the podcast.
You know what? This is like the first Spider-Man movie where Harry Osborn's dad is just always like, "How's Peter doing?"
Yeah.
You're just very
what it is.
objective.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was more hurtful when it was my favorite character is Jimmy. It's my brother, which takes me back to so many childhood insecurities.
Aw.
It's fine.
So her favorite or least favorite NPC obviously is the other crystal, but also the hippies. She is not a fan that they were trying to like trick them. She thought they were cool.
And I feel like she's not like a super laissez-faire kind of person, so it would probably be hard to get along with hippies.
Yeah, she's like, what do you mean you're not working overtime?
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Katie and I play Crystal, the Drow Druid, with her very own MLM. According to legal, she's not allowed to say what that MLM is, but you all know what her MLM is. So anyway, my / Crystal's, we are not the same person. I should not refer to her problems as my problems. Crystal's least favorite NPC is also Crystal, but for like personal reasons.
Hey, I'm Marjorie. I play Amy Ann Amanda, a basic B, rough and tumble human fighter with a freshly minted dentistry degree. Her least favorite NPC so far, oh my gosh, there's so many to choose from. Probably Dartarian. Probably.
Datarian.
I
Yeah.
like the way she said it better.
Even though he
yeah,
didn't really do anything.
Him, just because he was deceitful.
He was.
He was deceitful. He's I think one of the only ones that has been like blatantly deceitful so far. Obviously, Matt Damon's probably gonna screw us over at some point, but he hasn't yet.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I play the character known as Bentley, the IT paladin. And Bentley as well as my own, because we are the same character. Least favorite NPC is Tor, because he's cringe.
No, he's the best.
The feeling is mutual.
I'm going to have to ask you to not
Bentley.
do
Hey listeners, this show is made possible by the support of our awesome patrons. In addition to a thank you for their support, our patrons get an ad-free listening experience and access to exclusive bonus content. In the weeks between episodes, our patrons are getting an extra show where we recap episodes and talk about some of our favorite moments. For more details about what you can get by supporting us on Patreon, check us out at patreon.com/ownuppod.
When we last left off, Taylor Jacobs woke up with 2 legs.
And
Little
as
Mermaid.
Katie mentioned, a different digestive tract kind of system
Well,
happening.
it probably feels pretty weird or squished. What do you think? it
Or
feels
back
She
to
squished?
took
normal.
the biggest
Yeah.
Or
poop.
back to normal.
yeah. I took a horse-sized poop from a human-sized body.
Oh, wow.
You're gonna have to get reused to not pooping at every startling thing.
They're gonna have to put.
Forgot about
All right,
that.
so
You're gonna have to wear a diaper.
But what if she still does it just as a person? Anyway.
So when we
Okay.
last left off, Taylor Jacobs woke up with 2 normal legs, and
No shoes, no pants.
and Crystal was informed that the opposing counsel wanted to sit down for a conversation about the pending lawsuit.
Yeah, and I think we had worked out that we were going to figure out a way to steal my cell phone back.
Oh yeah.
Who determined that?
Me, I did.
Her and her rock.
Me and my not real cell phone had a conversation, and we decided that
I'm
it's
just
best for my mental
imagining
health. Okay.
At some point, she bought some paint, and she painted an iPhone onto this rock.
100%.
Okay,
That's hilarious.
Taylor. So I'm going to tell this to Taylor. Well, nobody's Taylor. I think we should have Crystal sleep in the same room with us. I'm getting a little bit worried about her and how she refers to that rock as her cell phone.
Oh, I thought that was so ingenious. What a
Um,
great coping strategy.
Okay. If you think that's
Because
okay,
there's no therapy. So I feel like Delulu is the saloon.
And it's at this moment that Amy Ann realizes that she's the only sane one in the room. She's like, maybe I want my own room and you guys can bunk. Oh, God.
Also, I think we need to figure out how to get her cell phone back.
but he just told us under no circumstances to should we do that?
Yeah,
Even though he also said possession is 10/10 of the law, so I don't really know.
Am I in the room while this conversation
I just
is
whispered
off to the side.
Yeah.
Little side chat.
Or I guess as we're walking to your thing,
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
also weird because we're at I love, or probably Taylor's looking up.
probably. Yeah.
Cute.
Oh, that's probably a real change. I
Yeah.
feel equestrian Taylor is equestrian
So
Taylor.
much taller.
Centaur Taylor.
I
is,
just imagine
actively
she's
taller.
still gonna duck going through doorways.
I bet you.
Oh, definitely. And she's like, I guess I just don't need an apple anymore.
Were you ducking through doorways or were you limboing? Because I want it to be limbo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably so.
Her lower back is so toned.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, it's like rippling with muscles.
She's got a washboard back.
That you can't see through the blazer. She just looks in the mirror over her shoulder like,
Flexes.
yeah,
like,
baby.
my back abs.
Oh my god.
All right.
Hey, Bentley, can you see anything different out of those weird looking eyes?
Can I see anything different out of my weird looking eyes?
All right. So have you ever worn amber lens shooting glasses?
Yeah.
That's what everything looks like right now.
Okay.
You
so,
basically have permanent sunglasses.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh, cool. That means
Everything's sepia.
sepia.
Oh no, that's a permanent situation.
Wow.
Yeah, that takes me back to 2004.
Right?
So it's about that time Saul's like, hey, Crystal, we kind of need to get a game plan before we go in here.
Okay.
So you understand why they're suing you, correctly?
No.
Okay. So according to the filing, you openly besmirched the name of a registered organization, claimed that they stole your intellectual property,
They did.
okay, and you also destroyed some of their advertising.
That was actually, I don't think that was me this time. Oh no, I did take the.
Richard, when he took the thing down, the sign?
I think
There's
he's talking
a
about the
sign,
bookstore.
but there's
Oh.
a bookstore where I didn't destroy those. Those were free samples.
Well, I'm just telling you what they filed, okay?
Oh, okay.
So we kind of got to get a game plan here. So I understand, because you talked to me about this before, that this was your thing. Do you have
My entire career was my thing.
That's wonderful. Do you have any kind of paperwork? Do you have any
Yeah,
kind
it's
of...
all on that phone.
What is a phone?
She holds up her rock.
What she's
It
trying
looks like this.
That's a rock.
Right.
Is that something like, can druids do something weird with a rock?
No, it's a delusion. But anyway,
Never heard of that spell.
She knows.
Her brain is raised firmly in reality, but she doesn't have a choice. It's her solution. Okay.
Hey, Crystal, I think I can help here.
Oh, that's right. You managed to somehow keep yours.
That's-
Awesome.
Yeah, I do still have mine.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Richard. Would you demonstrate what a phone is?
Yeah, so Saul, no one here theoretically should know what a phone is, right? Like, you don't know what one is. We do. So, like, it's clearly something that belongs to our group that no other group should have. So mine is like this, and he pulls out his phone.
Okay, I need you to roll me a percentile die.
I rolled a 34.
Okay, so when you pull it out, it shakes awake. You have 34% of your battery remaining, which is actually pretty good for as long as you got
Kind of
it.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Easy.
It has the power of Nokia on its end.
but until you find a way to charge it, it will only get lower.
That makes sense.
So
I think we need to figure out a way to
Richard's-
She probably has figured out a way to charge the phone. Like
yeah.
the fake crystal probably has figured out a way, because otherwise it would totally be dead.
There's got to
Yeah,
be some
'cause
kind
it's
of
an iPhone.
lightning-ish that turns into it.
All right,
Maybe.
So,
Volts.
and he just kind of looks at it, and he sees it's like when Frankenstein's monster sees fire. He's just kind of like, "What the hell is that?"
Exactly. You got, like, this is, I'll say, technology that doesn't belong in the city, doesn't belong in this country, is from where we're from. So
Yeah.
the only people who should have something like this
He
are not people from here.
he leans in, and he's like, "Can I ask you a question?"
You can ask me anything.
And you see he kind of like looks up. He's like, "Are you from space?"
I mean, technically we're all from space, but that's not
A different
that's neither here
space.
nor there.
He sees he's there's some wheels turning in his head, and he's like, "Okay, all right, you can handle this, Saul. You can handle this, Saul. Okay, what can that thing do?"
Girl, what that thing?
Girl, what that thing do? Yeah.
Trying to think of things that don't take up too much battery and don't need internet access. He said, well, I can do this. And he taps the button, turns the flashlight on, taps the button, turns the flashlight off.
So it's a torch.
Take a picture. Take a
That's
picture
some
of
of the
us.
things it can do. Yeah. And
And
I'm
I-
like, oh, yeah, I'll do this.
I
and
squeeze
I'm like,
Crystal against me. Take a picture, and I do
and
the
then
peace
so I'll
sign.
like take a picture of them, and then
Yes.
I'll switch the camera, and then I'll take a picture of me and Saul, so he'll see the selfie
Okay.
thing, so he can see me and him on the screen.
Yeah.
All right.
Kinda
So,
Captured his soul.
so this will be the third usage. And you see the battery tick down to 33%.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Wait, did you just..." He's looking at his picture on the thing. He keeps moving, and he's moving. He goes, "Are you trying to trap me in that thing? Is this some kind of containment vessel? Like, what is this? What are you doing when you do that? Whatever that is."
So you're familiar with paintings, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is essentially futuristic paintings.
You have machines that can paint?
Exactly.
It looks so real.
Right?
I can't wait to start describing a printer to him.
He says, okay.
Kinkos.
And at this point, you look and you see there's like a crowd of people around y'all, like just kind of watching what's
Take a
going on,
video of
whispering.
him.
And
Really
he's just
blows
like,
mine.
"Richard, you need to put that thing away."
Too easy. He puts it in the igloo. The fanny
I was
pack.
like, you said igloo, and I was like, where the fuck is there an igloo?
Puts it in the fanny pack.
Puts it in the fanny pack of holding. And he's like, "We need to get out of here. Let's just get a move on." So, Crystal, this is our first meeting with the opposing council. Just try not to give them too much to work with.
I think what he's trying to say is let him do the talking.
Then why don't you just say that?
Well, that went over way better than I expected. All right, well, and we're walking.
She has attorneys. She knows how this shit works.
He
She gets
doesn't
it.
know that.
Right.
While we're walking, are the crowds that were whispering, are they saying anything important that we would want to notate?
Just make me a perception check.
Crystal is also listening 100%.
Amy
12.
Ann, 13.
Okay, so do you hear some whispers about like some people saw the light and they were kind of freaked out by it, and you hear someone asking if like is the little one a paladin of some kind? And they're like, no, I think the big one's a paladin, and it's like, which big one? The one with the armor, like.
Okay.
And
Which one with the
that's
armor?
kind of what you're hearing right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
So, is anybody wanting to do anything before you get to the offices of Ironquill and Storm?
What a name.
That's pretty
No.
cool.
I think I don't know much about lawyering either, but I know if I have to have something called malpractice insurance. So I know you don't don't sign anything, don't agree to anything,
Right.
or anything like that. That's really all I know about lawyer stuff.
Well, I mean, I've done a couple of cases with specifically intellectual property, so this will work out.
Oh, so
pretty
you're
good.
all pro.
Yeah, different legal system, but attorneys are all the same. Just feed their egos. Fine.
Saul turns around and just kind of shakes his head like he's not standing right there.
Crystal does not care.
All right, well, we're here. I guess all of you can file into the waiting room, or I don't know how much space there's going to be inside. If you just want to leave Crystal with me, what you guys want to do. I know Miss Jacobs is very adamant about being attached to Crystal's hip at all times.
Yeah,
So,
Crystal's not going in there by herself. Not a chance.
all right, so
Crystal's my client, so yes, I will be going where
Yeah.
she's going.
I'm going to correct you. Crystal right now is my client.
I can have more than one person employed.
But in this instance, she is my client, and I am here to make sure that she does not end up in prison.
That
I've
distinction makes
already
sense for
been
their
there.
legal
I
system.
had her first, and finders keepers.
Well, then by all means, have at it, and I'll go on about my way.
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Exactly. So I think we
Exactly.
need to be careful with the words we use here, because they are always trying to fucking monkey claw us with things in this world.
That's so true.
Wait, it's a monkey paw, not a monkey claw.
In this world,
Exactly.
it's monkey claw.
Close enough.
That's like the motto of that entire short story.
Right?
Close enough.
I'm not going to say anything. I just want to be supportive of Crystal.
Okay, well, shall we? So you guys all enter the building, and it's, a very finely appointed wooden structure. You see lots of rooms with long tables and lots of bookshelves. It looks like what you would expect a law office to look like. And you see a receptionist looks up and says, "Oh, Saul? Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, hey, Susan." You can tell they've had interactions. She directs him.
I thought Agent Purple was his ex.
Interactions.
Well, that's one of his exes.
Oh,
There are more.
Purple's gonna have some words.
All
So,
his exes live in LeBron.
all
That was
my
good.
exes live in Travaria.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
So they lead you down the hallway to a pretty well-lit room with lots of glass windows, and you see a very finely dressed dwarf and tiefling sitting at the table. And they both look up and say, "Oh, wonderful. We've been waiting for you." He says, "Go ahead, have a seat. I am Thorn Ironquill, lead counsel." And the tiefling turns and says, "Yes, and I am Ironquill Storm, secondary counsel."
Oh, 2 attorneys. So intimidating.
You have to understand that Miss Crystal is very serious about these sorts of offenses.
Serious enough to have this conversation right now?
Serious enough to pursue those who are trying to destroy the business that she built herself.
Ah, so it's not a religious institution, it's a business?
Well, in Lavron, all corporations are businesses, yes, whether
Ah.
religious or secular.
Okay, good to know.
Thorn Ironquill looks at you, goes, "I have here in my records Miss Crystal number 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Crystal.
It is.
Okay, we're just using her legal name. Whatever she goes by in public is fine. But in the interest of clarity, in this case, you will henceforth be referred to as
As
like that?
Crystal.
as Crystal 2.
No.
Nope.
Do you have another name you could go by? Because
Crystal.
well, legally, Miss Crystal, our client, is legally in the system as Crystal.
That's awesome.
Great for her.
Hey, Miss
I don't
Crystal.
see another Crystal in the room, so there won't be any confusion.
Right, you can just call me Crystal.
Okay, Miss Crystal number 2.
Nope. Try again. Call me Clarity if you want. Miss Clarity, also with a K.
While they're going through their back and forth, Richard wants to lean into Bentley and Amy Ann. He's like, all right, guys, it didn't work the first time, but it could work a second time. Always be willing to walk out of the room. Like, this conversation's going to go for 40 minutes if we just let them argue back and forth. And he's whispering this just so they can hear.
Yeah.
We're going to be here for 40 minutes if they're just arguing over what her name is. Like,
That's a good point, Richard.
You see Bentley, and you can just tell his brain cells are slowly dying from this conversation. His intelligence is dropping.
Miss Clarity.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Well, we're getting somewhere. My client has presented, we give you the list of evidence of
that you somehow magically pulled out of your ass without depositions or discovery.
Well, no, we've compiled this evidence from our investigation into your usage of Miss Crystal's trademark.
My name?
Well, in the use of it as a business trademark.
Do tell me what business I've registered while here.
It's not the business you've registered. It's the besmirching of her business.
By talking up Crystal Clarity.
And also, we have statements from multiple witnesses where you've attempted to sell imitation products. Tantamount to knockoffs of Miss Crystal's intellectual property.
Wow.
So
the use of oils in general is not allowed in this world, I'm understanding, right? So potions in general can't be made, sold for a profit in this world without a label, might I add?
No, they certainly can, but not when sold as genuine products of
Crystal.
It's confusing for consumers.
It's confusing for consumers, right? Okay.
When you have
not churchgoers.
Settlement part. What's the deal?
Okay, so what Miss Crystal is willing to do to not pursue criminal charges, she is willing to not pursue intellectual property theft, and in return, you have to agree to stop selling counterfeit products that would be confused with the Church of Clarity's products.
So in this legal system, you can have criminal charges and civil charges, and the person that is, you can mix the two?
Hey, Crystal, what if you become a nonprofit and you give away free samples in exchange for a donation? Do nonprofits exist in this world? They could. She's a business, but she calls it a church. So we could be a business that's registered as a religious entity.
Hey, guys, we should hear what the rest of the settlement offer is.
Okay, if you would just fucking say it all.
Amy Ann's
can
passing doodles to...
Do you have a... I hear...
Richard snickers. That's really funny.
I can hear you whispering over there. As you have a question?
No.
Okay. Now, in return, she's asking that you stop selling counterfeit product in a manner that is confusing to consumers, that you refrain from using the trademark of Crystal Clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is that you change your name.
To Crystal?
No.
You know, it's kind of wild to me that in this world I've basically been pretty, I don't know, ineffective in establishing my empire, and Crystal still noticed me, so it feels like I'm pretty much more of a threat than I realized, which is wild, and I think
Crystal.
that I would like to...
Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Which one? Who's talking to Crystal?
Sorry.
You couldn't tell by the voice?
So Saul turns to Crystal. Crystal, let's save that for afterwards. We got, like I said, don't play all of our cards. Let's just hear what they got to say.
6 minutes or 6 miles before you talk shit.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So working on this offer, we just assumed it would be in the best interest of all parties if you were to change your name and you could market your products under your new name, then we wouldn't have to worry about any further legal proceedings.
That is wild, and I do appreciate you bringing an honest offer to the table, however manipulative, and I think we'll think about it.
You
didn't expect us to have an answer for you today. We just met.
I assumed that you would see this offer and the fact that it takes criminal charges off, and you'd take it with a little bit more gratitude than that, but that's okay. That's your prerogative.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I have been to prison, and it's not so bad. So this world is pretty much a hellscape. And I'm not real worried about it getting worse.
Okay.
So if you can bring maybe a better offer to the table, I'll also discuss with my current legal counsel. He's been super talkative. You just can't been able to hear him because, you're talking. And we'll bring it back to you. We'll make our adjustments and our addendums, and I'm sure we could probably come to some sort of an agreement at some point down the line.
I do want to be clear with you and with your lawyer present that this was, per our client, was a final offer.
Oh.
And if you do choose to not accept it, we're going to proceed forward with our next steps.
Awesome. Actually, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and move forward with scheduling that? Because always, it's my understanding that you can always go back to mediation if we wanted to reverse and change course. So why don't you go ahead and schedule that deposition? I would be more than happy to explain my business structure to you in depth over the course of multiple hours. And sometimes I've heard they take days, and I'm sure you would love to hear me just talk to you for that long. And I can. So yeah, just go ahead and schedule it. And I'll talk with my current legal counsel. Thank you for the offer. I see that it's coming from a true and genuine place of concern.
So it's at this time the tiefling leans in and goes, "No need to take this offline. Overworked and Underplayed will circle back after these messages." And as a matter of fact, Miss Clarity, it is. I would love to sit here for days and go over every agonizing detail.
It's not agonizing to me.
Well, I'm sure it's not, but
It
those
is
are
to me.
called billable hours.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a fucking vacation.
I'm so excited for you.
And then Richard stands up and is like, "Sounds like we're going."
And you see Saul he's just kind of, ugh. All right, well, I guess that's that.
Yeah.
Thorn?
Also, I'll be filing an inappropriate conversation between the two of us just for record-keeping purposes. So just heads up.
Okay, well, Mr. Saul, we have gone ahead and sent over our discovery to your law offices so you can review and prepare for your deposition tomorrow.
Oh, no, it's not going to be tomorrow. It doesn't work for me, actually.
You see Saul turns and he goes, "Crystal, I don't know how things work where you're from, but here the opposing counsel sets the date for any kind of depositions or anything like that. The ball's in their court because they're the attacker."
Sounds like Crystal had them by the balls.
That's fine. You have, I'm sure you'll work it out because, if you don't file things, if there's not an actual record of things, how is this world any different than some sort of barren planet that has no law or justice system? Isn't that your whole job, is to, understand the system and work it? And you're telling me that the ball is in their court.
Saul just kind of smirks. Says, "Look, you're new here?"
He smirks.
Yeah.
Oh, Crystal might fire him.
He says, "Listen, you are describing something very alien to me, and what I'm trying to tell you is how things work here, and I'm trying to help you."
Are you?
Yes, trust me. I don't get paid unless you get out of this whole thing.
Okay, good to know. So do more.
So, yeah,
got
well,
this.
I'm trying to, but
Okay.
we've got to go review this discovery and be ready tomorrow.
Okay. You got this. Rooting
Bentley
for
is
you, Saul.
secretly hoping
No.
she just goes to jail. So
We
can
got
move on.
this.
If she goes to jail, she's just gonna start her MLM up in jail.
Oh my God.
We
So-
should just
What are
cut a
you gonna
bunch
sell?
out and go straight to the settlement.
Yeah, probably.
You
Sorry.
gonna sell pixie dust in jail?
I think Crystal would come up with some really cool shit in prison. Just saying. She
Toilet
would own
wine?
it.
That's terrifying to think of. Like,
Yeah, I'm just imagining a Crystal Clarity shirt where it's like, "I've been to prison. It's not that bad."
Correction, she's been to a holding cell
She's
for like
been-
3 hours.
Yes.
Close
Who was
enough.
just there
Not
with Taylor,
phased.
and
Unintimidated.
Jimmy. Yeah.
So I think that went well. Maybe we head back to the Crow's Nest. That's the name of the place. I think we head back to the Crow's Nest and maybe game plan our steps forward.
Yeah.
Got some ideas brewing in the old percolator.
Okay, that sounds
Hey,
good.
Saul, can you make sure that Crystal is at the next interaction that we have?
you see Saul mulls it over. He goes, "That could work in our favor. I'll see what I can do."
Okay.
That's an absolute must, Saul.
Yeah.
Any plan that we come up with requires that. So back at the Crow's Nest.
Yeah, so back at the Crow's Nest, as you come in, the captain is behind the bar manning it, and he says, Oh, hello, friends. Welcome back. Another rowdy adventure today?
Not yet, but we have some writiness we might need your help with, actually.
Oh. He looks around, and there's no one in here, but he's like, then meet me in my office. And you see as he, like, runs over to the door, and he, like, locks it and flips the open sign off, and he runs over. Like you guys are all just kind of standing there, and he's, like, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, he's very excited.
Aw.
And he's sitting behind his desk. He says, okay, well, come on. We don't have all day.
All right, great. So, Captain Montiak, we have a situation that we're in. Don't want to bore you with all of the details or implicate you in anything, but we had this friend that we met somewhere else in town. His name was Nimio, and I was wondering if you could get us in contact with him.
Oh, yes. I go gambling once a week with Nimio. Have your dealings with him been on the positive side or the negative?
So far, we've had one positive interaction, and so we're hoping that we can ride that out for the rest of this
Well, better
adventure.
than most. Yes, I can reach out to Nimio. What is there a message you want me to relay, or is there some kind of action that is going to be taking place?
Yeah, if I recall correctly, the last time we spoke, he said if there's anything that we need, he knows a guy that can get it for us, and so that's what we need.
Okay. Well, I'll see what I can do. Wait here, and I'll send a raven.
Perfect.
And you see as he's got a bird cage in the back corner of his office, and he closes the door, and you hear him yelling "Ah!" and then you see a bird go flying out the window, and he goes, "All right, well, who wants to join me for a beverage?"
Does that raven have a big enough cage?
I know. I was like, is this?
It's a big cage.
Richard's
Okay.
going to need a drink for this conversation.
Yeah.
All right, so what kind of skullduggery are you getting into?
So much.
Can I do some kind of insight or roll?
Sure, roll insight.
To learn more about this guy, who I remember when we first met him was a real creepazoid.
No, he was just hitting on people a lot.
Well,
That's
technically
literally
speaking.
that is the synonym.
You
Okay.
described-
Wow, that's the problem. Jeez,
Hi.
Louise.
Thank you for mansplaining that, Tyler.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh, that could not have gone better. Pure comedy.
That's not very good. 7. Do
Uh,
I loot anything at all from him for a 7?
I'll tell you something you pick up on.
Uh-huh.
You've seen a lot of people in the Seafarers district, right? You haven't seen anybody with good teeth quite like his. You notice his teeth are very well taken care of, better than some people from where you're from.
Really? And I'm just noticing this now
It's
as I'm sitting down.
Well, it's 'cause,
and taking
you're-
a drink.
you're-
Oh, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
oh, I'm just noticing this now. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
You
Oh,
were
no,
so
you're
creeped
good.
out by him hitting on you before.
Yeah, but now it's okay.
Now his hyperfixation is on something that's not creepy,
Yes.
so it's
okay, I can observe. Hey, Monty. I just interrupt him, whatever
I've
he's
never
saying.
been called that before, but
Well, yeah.
hello.
Are you from here?
Of sorts, not
Well,
from
what
the
does that
city.
mean?
I grew up in the mountains.
Oh, what mountains?
You see as he points to a giant map on the wall of Travaria,
Oh,
and he says, the Silver-Crested Mountains.
wow, that seems like kind of a far away way.
It is, but, most of my family took different professions than I did, and
I see.
for me, it was just the call of the sea. I couldn't get away from it.
Okay, so have you been a seaman for a long time?
There for a bit. Eventually rose up the ranks and got enough money to purchase my own ship. And then subsequently crashed it in a particular location, and he points at how the building is ships stacked on top of each other, and he's like, the first floor of this building is actually where my ship crashed, and we just kind of built around it.
Wow. How old is he?
You notice his ears are a little pointy. He's not like a full elf, but he's like a half elf.
Mm-hmm.
And so he looks like he could be anywhere from 30 to 90 just by how those guys age. But
okay. An elf ear.
but
elf.
yeah, he's
years, I
like
see.
prime.
Okay.
If I could,
Well, you have. I can't help but notice. I'm sorry if it's rude, Monty, but you have great teeth, exceptional even.
Oh, Yes.
Do you brush and floss twice a day?
Hygiene was very important in my family's
Okay.
household.
Okay.
I feel like Taylor might be listening in.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's in front of everybody
Okay.
that we're doing this. Yeah.
Does your family have what we back home call generational wealth?
As in money passed down from descendant to descendant.
Exactly.
You could say that.
He's like, is there any other kind of wealth?
But
Right.
unfortunately, I was.
Why did you have to pillage then?
Who said anything about pillaging?
Oh, so you're like a captain that,
What, did you just assume I was some sort of pirate?
yeah, based on the design of your ships and the flag at the top.
Haven't you ever seen One Piece? There's good pirates.
That
No.
was quite presumptuous
I've never
of
seen
you,
that. Yeah.
Miss Jacobs.
Oh, I apologize.
Well, Monty, to be fair, that does mean pirates where we're from. So if
What means pirates?
the skull and crossbones flag you have up there.
Oh, I just thought it looked cool.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
Well, I don't know.
Definitely
Maybe.
Can we do an
generational
insight
wealth.
check on that?
Definitely
Sure.
generational wealth.
Okay. Oh, that's not great. 13.
The way he said it, what you pick up on is he has either practiced that line a million times or he actually feels that way.
Fair enough. All right. It doesn't matter one way or the other to Richard, but it like everything's pointed toward he was definitely a pirate.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Monty? You know what assume means? So that's our bad. So I hope you don't
What?
take offense.
I'm not a linguist. What does assume mean?
Assume means ass of you and me, if you assume.
If
So-
you assume it makes an ass out of you
Yeah.
and me.
Exactly.
Interesting. Well, back to the matter at hand. This bit of skullduggery. What are you lot trying to involve Nimio in?
Well, I'd prefer to wait and not have to say it twice. If we could just wait until Nimio gets here, I think that would be
Richard is
Pretty
very efficient.
Yes.
handy.
So it's about that time you hear a knock at the door, and you see as Captain Montiak turns, he goes, "Sorry, we're closed." "Well, you called me." He's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you so soon." And he goes and opens the door, and you see as Nimio steps in, and he looks and he sees all of you standing there, and he's like, "Oh, bother. What have you gotten yourselves into that you need to come find old Nimio again?"
Well, if I recall correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but last time we spoke, you said if there's anything we ever need, you know a guy who can get us anything. And we are in desperate need of something very important.
Well, I do know some guys. What is it that you need help with?
Well, before I can answer that, we need to ensure that this conversation stays amongst this group. Can you assure us that?
He looks at Captain Montiak and he says, "You hadn't had any hags around here lately, have you?" And Captain Montiak says, "Well, one can never be too sure." And you see as he raises his hand up, and you see as like a wave of light just kind of pulses out from him. And he looks around and goes, "Looks like it's clear. So, what is it you're needing, and how shall we acquire it?"
Well, hopefully stealthily and without any connections back to us. We've been strictly told not to get this item, so we need someone else to get it for us. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Church of Clarity?
Unfortunately.
Great, we feel the same way. Their leader, the supposed Miss Crystal, has something that belongs to our actual crystal here, and we need you or your guy to get that item for us.
And then maybe we should get out of town.
Sounds dangerous.
Potentially.
What item is it that you're needing?
So it's a little rectangle. It looks, and do you have any paper? I can draw it for you.
So you see as Captain Montiak pulls a scroll out from behind the bar and rolls it out and hands you a few charcoal pencils.
Perfect. And then so Richard starts trying to draw just an iPhone.
Crystal takes her little rock out.
Yeah. Here's a 3D model. Here's the 2D image.
Nimio looks at it and he goes, small. Hard to find.
Yeah, we're
Probably not all that hard to find, honestly. Small, yes.
Will this item be heavily guarded?
I think it'll be guarded by one person. I think it'll be either on Crystal or in Crystal's, like, safe.
Entourage? Yeah, safe.
Yeah.
Didn't they say that the legal team had it?
Did they put it in their evidence?
I think that's what was said, that it's in like some storage location from the legal team, right?
Even
Alex?
better.
I think so. I think I did say
You
that.
did,
Okay,
yeah. I
even
think
better.
So,
Yeah. So, yeah, it will be heavily guarded in evidence.
Okay.
This can't be the first time he's been asked to destroy or remove evidence.
That's why we came to you, because we knew you guys were the best. And, like, there's
Well-
nothing you guys couldn't do, right?
That is true. My people tend to be a little better at destroying than quietly acquiring, but I think I know a person or two who could accomplish this job. What law office is it kept at?
Well, then it's at Ironquill Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you've really upset someone, haven't you, Miss Crystal?
Crystal just looks at him in an irritated way. She's just like, I'm upset. I am the one that is upset.
Well, I see that now. Ironquill and Storm, they don't lose many cases. I would be very careful dealing with them. Ironquill is a stern yet fair man, but I'm fairly certain that that Miss Storm is the devil incarnate.
Well, we don't actually need to win or lose this case if we can get this item back from them, and then we can deal with any repercussions after that.
Okay, so you need this quiet. You need it to not come back to you.
Yes.
And you need this done how soon?
Within the next day or two, I believe.
Yeah, like 24
You see his
hours.
eyes
Yeah,
get
exactly.
huge. And he goes, this will be quite the operation. 2,000 gold.
How
Okay.
much money do we have?
I don't know, but we can figure out the cost.
2,000 gold. Nimio can make it happen.
Okay, we might have to do this in installments, but we will get you your money.
No installments. Cash up front.
I can give you maybe half up front, but I definitely cannot give you all up front.
Make a persuasion check
Okay.
with disadvantage
Okay.
as you use one of the omen dice.
So we make like a lot of money, I think, here.
Oh yeah, don't say that though.
We're like good for it.
So I rolled with
Too trusting.
2 trusting. So tell me how this works. I rolled with disadvantage. I got a natural 1.
Oh, fuck. You're a halfling.
But I'm a halfling. So do I just get to re-roll that nat 1?
Yes, you get to re-roll the fucking nat 1.
Yay.
My man. It's better to be lucky than good.
But it's
Best to be
But
both.
it's best to be both, which is why on a persuasion check, Richard only got a 15. No, wait. 9 plus 9, 18.
Wow.
Disadvantage, you'd have got an 18.
Nimio thinks for a minute, and, he hears what you're saying, and then he hears Taylor Jacobs say, but we make a lot of money. He says, okay.
Yeah, I was just saying,
Okay.
like, I wasn't hiding that information.
1,000 up front and 1,500 when we get the device to you.
I think we can make that work.
Do you
Did
guys
you
just
just put
have a
us
lot of money in the bank that
two
I'm not
and then
aware of?
ask for
more.
No.
300 gold
The
each.
party's gonna try and steal from the rest of us to cover the stupid phone.
I'm sorry. If one of us isn't in jail, that's valuable for everyone.
As far
Especially when it's like the main person who heals people.
Exactly.
I'm standing right
save
here.
her butt.
I also have healing spells.
I also have healing kit.
She is
Okay,
definitely
but they
not.
don't need to, we don't need to talk about that, okay?
Crystal is
I can't think of a
definitely
time
not
you've healed me,
healing.
Crystal.
She hit Taylor Jacobs.
I'm
Crystal
Taylor. I have
is
healed
the
you.
client. I don't know if anyone.
Your client?
You work for the same company.
He,
I work IT. I don't have anything to do with clients.
That's how we all live, is by
he says,
Yeah,
retaining
guys,
clients.
Remember-
I wish we would have talked about the money part before we asked Nimio here, guys, because
You gotta remember, work is a hobby for Bentley. He's already got his nuts. Thank you, Bitcoin.
he says, take it or leave it. That's the deal.
Don't we make 300 a month?
I like that.
we make $150 a week each.
150 a week, yeah.
But we've not. That was as
That's
of
even more.
yesterday.
So how much gold does everyone have?
So
It
we
acts
have
like we've been
1,000.
actively tracking. I have not.
Yeah, I've got money in the bank.
I mean, I've been actively tracking even my copper.
Wow.
He says, so do we have a deal?
Yes.
Let's confer as a group.
He
Just
shakes Crystal's hand.
Crystal didn't go to this guy. Richard did. She trusts Richard.
So that means
She'll figure
Crystal
it
will be the one to go to the loan shark to get the money. Then.
Perfect. It's a very multi-stepped plan.
So Nimio says, I need
Wait.
to get my crew together. He says, your contact with the device will be one of my top guys, a guy by the name of Albatross Blinken.
A gratitude a day keeps the haters away, and that's why we want to thank you for listening to Overworked and Underplayed. You just heard Alex Capps as our DM, Annalyn Hardy as Taylor Jacobs, Katie as Crystal 2.0, Marjorie as Amy Ann, Marcel Hardy as Richard Cox, and Tyler as Bentley. Episodes are edited by Marcel, and Circle Back episodes are edited by Katie. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll circle back in 2 weeks on February 8th for the next episode. You can help us to get the word out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on social at OwnUpPod, that's OWNUPPOD, subreddit r/OwnUp.
Okay.
Greetings, my paid and unpaid interns. Welcome to Overworked and Underplayed. I forgot the rest of the script.
Yeah, that's right. Remember your place.
Keep it. It'll be the
That's
Easter
what she said. No, I'm just.
It'll be the Easter egg.